Welcome back to the Music City Surrey Showcase, funded by the City of Surrey. My name is Keely Ramage Scott, and I am here to take you through even more of our incredibly talented musicians and artists here in Surrey. Today, I am joined by VERCENZO. So nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
It's great to be here.
Yeah. So you've been doing music for a long time. I read that you started when you were 16 and then you went to college, and that's where you really developed your taste for songwriting. Like, you wrote your first song when you were 16 though. So I want to first start by hearing how you got the joy out of songwriting and where it took you.
Well, that's interesting. So yeah, it did come about. So the joy of songwriting really came around the time when I was in high school. I was taking a new music class. I was already in band class, but there was a new elective I could take in music, which was called composition. So I started experimenting writing songs, different types of songs, and I really enjoyed writing love songs. It came really easy to me. And that's when I really got into writing music instead of doing covers or singing other stuff. It really is fun, like hearing how your music is played after you've envisioned it, wrote it down, have people play it, and it comes all together. It is really nice to hear it. So that's how really I got into it. And then throughout when I graduated from high school and I went to study music in university, I was able to develop my skills and started composing some more. Not just pop music, but some jazz music as well, and some classical music as well. So it's not really just limited to pop.
Awesome. So is pop where those first inspirations came from? Is that what the first genre, I guess, you sat in was?
Yes,
yeah.
It was. Yeah, it started off with pop.
And where did it develop from there? Where do you like to sit these days?
Well, I love singing pop music, especially influenced by Latin music. That's really the stuff I like to do. So pop, Latin music. Sometimes I kind of add some salsa influence or even reggaeton sometimes, because that's what's the most popular nowadays.
Yeah.
But I also do some classical projects as well. I sing sometimes in choirs or in some musicals or even operas sometimes.
Yeah. What's your writing process like?
Well, I usually come up with a theme. So what I want the song to be about. If it's a love song, or if it's more of a inspirational song, or if I just want something more to encourage people to never give up and to always work hard to achieve your goals. So I come up usually with a word or a phrase, and then around that phrase I start thinking of other words connected to that phrase. Then I kind of make an outline of how I want my song to go structurally and harmonically, and then I kind of write the words first, and then once I got the words, I write the music.
Is there a point in that process where you decide if you want something to feel more Latin influenced, or if it's leaning in more of a jazz direction, for example?
Yeah, that usually comes way before the music writing. Even like as in the initial part of the process, when I'm coming up with the idea or the theme, I already know if I want to go kind of Latin style or if I want to do it like a pop style instead. And I know like if I want it to be like a upbeat kind of party song, or if I want it to be like a slower song. It's usually really early in the process that I know what kind of style I want the song to be.
Cool. So I know that you've played in a bunch of festivals across Canada. Tell me a little bit more about that experience and taking kind of a genre bending almost artist persona through. Like, who's the artist that you portray on these kinds of experiences when you're going somewhere new for the first time or you're on a festival stage?
The kind of artist I try to portray is just more of a person who has a love for all styles of music, but really kind of combine it all into my own kind of style of singing. There's a lot of artists out there and singers who try to mimic other artists or the way they sing or the way they compose. Of course, I've got my influences as well, but I try to just stay original to my own style. I know that when I sing, people tell me, okay, you have kind of a classical sound when you sing, but I don't mind.
Yeah.
I just sing, the way I sing. So I just like to stay original usually.
Yeah. It's hilarious too, because there's so much stigma around artists being forced to stick in one genre. Like you talk to producers or labels, and a lot of there's still just so much tendency to stick to the norm of, oh, you have to sing only pop, you have to do only this. And I've met more and more artists lately that'll be like, oh, I'm writing this album that's got a rock song on it, and then it's also got an R&B song, it's got a pop song. So it's kind of interesting that we always think an artist is a person, and no one person sits himself in one box at all times. So why can't things be in multiple genres if it's in your persona?
Yeah, I totally agree. Because if you do that, I feel like you're limiting yourself in a box, really. And sometimes you want to expand and do other things, or your idea just the emotion you want to portray to people. You can't just express it through, say, pop. Maybe you have to go in a different direction, like do like a jazz style or something like that. Or even a hip hop song, which I've never written a hip hop song, but you never know.
Yeah, never say never.
Never say never. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends, I guess, it definitely depends on the emotion. I get that
It
for
does.
sure. So when you play live, is it mostly solo, or do you have a band that you perform with as well?
It really depends on the venue. If it's a smaller venue, yeah, I'll usually do a solo, or maybe some collaborations with some other artists. Maybe 2 or 3 other artists. But if it's a bigger venue, then yeah, I'll hire a band, and it'll be a full orchestra just playing, and while I sing and perform. Those are really fun, by the way. I do really enjoy the times where I sing with a whole full band. I think those are the fun ones.
What are some of the favorite shows that you've played then?
Well, one of my favorite ones, I played once in a venue here in downtown Vancouver.
Yeah.
They have a really big stage there, and it was for I think it was for the Mexican Independence Day. So I was playing a lot of Latin music, singing a lot of Latin music there, and it was really packed. The audience was really engaged, and it was really fun. It's one of the most fun experiences I've had, I think.
Awesome.
And of course, singing in the Surrey Fusion Festival, I always enjoy doing that. It's really fun.
Fusion Festival is such a great event. I feel like every time I go to it, there's not just so many good music from different cultures that I haven't experienced before, but the food too.
Oh yeah,
the food is so good.
food, all kinds of food there. Yeah,
Yeah. There's never a disappointment in Fusion Festival. You're always brought into an environment where you wouldn't necessarily put yourself in front of an artist like that before. I've just found so many new artists in different genres by being there before.
Definitely. It definitely is a fusion of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is a really fun festival. It's one of my favorites. I always look forward to it.
Yeah. We're so grateful for the City of Surrey's appreciation for music too, because the Music City Directory is actually how we found you to invite you on the show today. So it was a great of them to put that on. Do you have new music coming out anytime soon?
I do. I have a new single. It's a Spanish single called Baila Morena. It's more of a reggaeton type style. Well, it is a reggaeton song. So in Baila Morena means dance. All right, so I have to break down the word morena. So morena in Spanish means a woman with dark skin and black hair. Mm-hmm. That's really what it means. So it really means dance lady with dark skin and black hair. Sounds weird in English, but in Spanish it's totally normal and very common. And it's a very upbeat song. It's more for dancing and partying.
Cool. Is it different from anything else you've released in the past?
It is slightly. It is pretty different. Because the other music is more of kind of merengue influence or vallenato influence or pop or rock. This is the first time I actually release a pure reggaeton song, so it is very different from what I usually release.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. And then more singles in the future as well?
Yes. So I have more singles coming out in the future, and a lot of them will be upbeat songs as well, some love songs as well, and looking forward also to releasing my first album, a Christmas album. So that's in the works as well.
Cool. For next Christmas, I'm assuming?
It would be for next Christmas, I would have loved to release it this Christmas, but just didn't have the time for it. So working on that project for next year.
Yeah, fair enough. One question we always love to ask people that walk in here is, if you had a piece of advice to give to an artist or musician that's just starting out, they're first getting interested in music, what would you say to them?
Well, I would say practice every day, really own your craft, and don't be scared to show your work to other people. A lot of artists feel a little intimidated sometimes when they, because I understand, you compose your own song. It's like your baby. You want to protect it, and it's easy for your feelings to get hurt. But really, you shouldn't be afraid. You should just do what your heart tells you. Of course, there'll be some people who don't like you. Not everybody's gonna like you, but it doesn't matter. Just as long as you do what you love,
Yeah.
you'll find a way.
There seems to be a common theme lately of self-love, and I'm loving that. The be true to yourself as an artist. So it's great for you to share that as well. Where can people find you online?
Well, they can find me on social media. Any Facebook. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, on TikTok as well. I have Twitter as well. If you just look up VERCENZO on Google, you'll find me immediately. I'll be the top thing on the Google search.
Thanks so much for joining us again today, VERCENZO.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
And thanks again to all of you for tuning into another episode of the Music City Surrey Showcase. We'll see you in the next one.
Al despertar junto a ti, mi corazón empieza a sentir que nuestro amor no se compara a nada que yo he sentido y hoy vives en mí. Hoy vives en mí, mi corazón. Hoy vives en mi interior. Hoy vives en mi amor. Esclavo me has hecho de ti, yo no soy nada sin tu amor. Cuando estoy contigo, yo siempre me siento feliz, porque tú me completas toda mi alma, mi cuerpo.